Hi everyone, I'm Beth with Bodies by Pilates, and today we're going to go through a 30-minute stretch session. Okay, so all you need is your mat for this. Let's go ahead and get started. Just come to one end of your mat. We're going to start with some big inhales here. So just take those feet about as wide as your hips. Go ahead, take a big inhale up. And exhale, blow it all out. And again, inhale up. And exhale. Good, now on this next one, we're going to start to fold over. So take an inhale up. As you exhale, think about peeling yourself off that imaginary wall, one vertebrae at a time. So don't rush it. Folding all the way over and just seeing where you're at this morning. So I have not stretched yet, so I am definitely very tight. Let the crown of your head look towards your mat, so you're looking through those legs. And just hang heavy here. Feel that stretch in the back of the legs, maybe the glutes and the hamstrings here. Good. Couple deep breaths. And then we're going to go ahead and walk ourselves out into a downward dog. So push those hips back and then see if you can get those heels on your mat. See if you can lower the belly to flatten the back. All right, you should feel that big stretch in the calves here. Go ahead and pedal those feet out right and left. Pushing those hips up and back. Right and left. Good. One more time, right. One more time, left. Now press both heels down. Push through those arms, pushing those hips back, belly low. And then I want you just to round forward into your plank position. You may need to walk those hands up just a little bit more. So remember, if you look at my back, I'm definitely domed up through my shoulder bridge. So I don't want to sink into the shoulder blades. I'm tucking my hips under, pulling my belly button up, and my shoulders are right over my wrists. So if this hurts your wrists, come on down to your arms. I'm just going to hold on here for a few more seconds, just getting that whole body warmed up. Big inhale, big exhale. And then go ahead, lower the knees. So the knees are going to separate, the soles of the feet will come together, and then go ahead and press those hips back. Trying to set those hips onto your heels. Keep your arms nice and long. Let your head just fall through your forearms there. Good, this is releasing the low spine in this child's pose here. And then it's opening up the hips, releasing the glutes. Lots of benefits. And then let's go ahead and take those arms over to the right side. So you'll either take your left arm a little longer, or you can cross it over. You want to shift all the weight over to the left side. Take your time here. So as I'm talking through it, you're getting a lot of stretch. Hold the shoulder blades down. And you should breathe into the left side body here. So you should feel that left side body expanding. And then let's uncross that arm. If we crossed it, we'll walk the arms over to the left side, taking the right arm either a little longer or crossing it over, and then shift the weight over to your right side. Keep the head in line with the spine, so sort of look down towards the floor as opposed to looking up, putting that big wrinkle in the back of your neck. And then breathe into that right side body. Good. Let's come back to center. And then let's round ourselves up into our 4-point kneeling position. So you'll separate those feet. You'll keep the knees right underneath the hips. And then you'll take the hands right underneath the shoulders. So for this one, we want to flatten out that back. So we don't want to have a big sway in the back. You want to pull the belly up. And also try not to sink into, this is when you're letting those shoulder blades fall. Try not to sink into the hands, but think about pulling yourself away from that mat. Good. Once again, neck's in line with the spine, belly button's pulling up. Let's do a couple of cat cows here. So relax the shoulders. Your neck should feel a little bit longer. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, I want you to start to push the hips forward, trying to find that flexion in the back. Push the back up. Belly button pulls all the way back to the spine. Eyes look towards the thighs, and then as you inhale, go ahead and start to take the tail back, lower the belly, lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Good. And exhale, round it up. And inhale, take that extension. Good. So remember not to let the shoulders drift up towards the ears, but to take your time here. Take as many of these as you need. And then when you're ready, you'll just come back to that neutral spine again, where the spine is flat. And then I want you to go ahead and sway the hips right and left. Feel how the obliques catch as you go right and left. So you're taking that hip bone up to that last rib. Good. Right and left. Excellent. And then just come back to center. All right, with those fingertips spread nice and wide, let's go ahead, walk those hands maybe slightly in front of the shoulders. And then I want you to go ahead and start to sit back. Keep the fingers spread wide on your mat. Feel the shoulder blades pulling down. So don't let them go up towards your ears. Pull the shoulders down and try to sit back. Feel how the back is elongating and stretching, and then come right back up. Good. And again, let's press it back. And forward. Excellent. All right, last thing we're going to do here is just rotate those hands to face the fingertips face in towards the body. And I want you just to press back just a little bit. Feel how you're getting that stretch all the way down the arm. And then forward. And back. So good. And forward. Last one. Back. Keeping the belly pulling in. And forward. Good. And then just rotate those hands around one more time. All right, we're going to curl those toes under. And then by pulling the belly button up, we're just going to go ahead and lift those knees to hover. So bring those knees up. Excellent. All right, we're going to walk those hands forward into our plank position. And then we're going to step our right foot forward towards this right hand. So you're just going to come forward in that lunge position. Now, try to flatten the back, push through the left heel. Feel how you get this stretch on those inner thighs. You might feel this hip flexor stretch as well. Go ahead, set that left knee down and uncurl those left toes. Good. Now, we're going to keep the left hand down, take the right arm up, and then look over that right shoulder, opening up the chest. Feel that stretch across the shoulders. And then bring the right hand back on the inside of the right foot. Let the right knee go out to the side. Check back in with those shoulders, making sure that they're not creeping up towards your ears. This feels so good. So you're going to press those hips forward and let the right knee just fall out to the right side. Bring the right knee back in line with the right toes, and then slowly walk those hands up to your right knee. Good. All right, you're going to press forward in this hip flexor stretch. Now, if you feel any pinching in your back, I want you just to round forward a little bit, like hinge forward here. Good. Now we're going to start to pull the right hip back into the hip socket, squaring off these hips back here. Hands are going to go to the mat for balance. You're going to try and keep that back nice and flat. Right toes are going to pop up. You're trying to lengthen through the right leg here, getting a good stretch in this right hamstring. And we're taking it nice and slow today, so you're really enjoying the stretch. Breathing through it. So never hold your breath. Always make sure that you're exhaling. Every time you exhale, you might find yourself fall deeper into that stretch. Let's go ahead and put that right foot down. We'll walk it across the mat. And then we'll slowly lower the right knee, tucking the right heel underneath this left hip. And then let's go ahead and walk forward. Good. This is where I always like to rock side to side a little bit, just kind of giving the right glute a little bit of a massage, allowing it to release, especially if it's tight, which mine were today. Good. This is a really good stretch. So take your time through it. Then you can go ahead and walk those hands back. Before we come out of this, we're just going to work on a little quad stretch on the left side. Really tight quads on me, so may not look that great, but you're going to start to bend that left leg. You're going to reach around with that left arm. Keep the shoulders pulling back. And then sink into this stretch. It's a tough one, but it feels so good. Good, go ahead, set that leg back down. And then we're just going to shift onto our sits bones, taking ourselves into this seated mermaid position or a Z sit. If this doesn't work for the knees, you can always just take the legs right out in front of you. You can always sit crisscross as well. So pull yourself up through this pelvic floor all the way up, bringing the shoulders down. Let's take the right hand down, take the left arm up, reach up and over. Good. And then to that other side. Excellent. All right, we're going to take these legs out in front of us. So just swing them around. And then you're going to cross your right leg over your left. You're going to pull it towards the left shoulder with the left arm. Sit up nice and tall once again, and then rotate looking over your right shoulder. So again, you probably feel this in your right glute, which is where we're trying to stretch right now. It's important to try and bring the knee as close to the chest as you can. Keep breathing through this. Excellent. And then let's go ahead, uncross those legs. I want you to just sit with both knees bent here. So you want to pull up through this. This might make sense if I turn a little bit so you can see. So you're going to use your arms to try and keep that back nice and straight. See how my back is nice and straight here. All right, knees are bent in front of you. I just want you to lower that right knee in, bring it up, and lower the left knee in, and bring it up. Good. So we're working on our hips here and the mobility of our hips. So knees are bent, chest is pulling up through that pelvic floor. Go ahead, lower the right leg in and lower the left. Excellent. All right. So you've got this whole rotation of the hip here and left. Good. One more time on the right. And one more time on the left. Excellent. Good job. All right, we're going to swing those feet around, coming back into our 4-point kneeling position. We're going to do a couple of cat-cows here. So slide the shoulder blades down, pull the belly button up, take a big inhale. As you exhale, push the hips forward, round. So we're trying to find the flexion down here. We all pretty much have flexion in our upper thoracic. It's the middle thoracic that we're working on. And then take your inhale, take that extension. So you really put that arch in the back here. You're trying to stretch out that core. Exhale and inhale. Good. When you've had enough, you're going to come back to that neutral spine. You're going to curl those toes under. You're going to hover those knees, walk those hands forward. Go ahead, take a giant step forward with that left foot coming into your lunge position. So stretch through, actually I'll turn this way so you can see. Stretch through that right heel this time. So you've got this lunge position going on, you're pushing through that right heel. Excellent, hold it here. Slide the shoulders down your back. I always say that because when I feel mine creep up, I figure maybe someone else's are too. All right, we're gonna lower that back knee, uncurl your right toes, and then let's go ahead, keep the right hand on the mat. You're gonna take your left arm up, rotate, look over that left shoulder. So you're pushing the hips forward, you're rotating, opening up the chest and the shoulders, and then come on down. You're going to take that left hand On the inside of the left foot, let that left knee open out to the side. It feels so good. Just pushing those hips forward, letting this knee fall out so you get that big inner thigh stretch. Relaxing the shoulders, keeping the neck in line with the spine. Bring that left knee back in line with the left toes. Let's take the hands up towards that left knee and then press the hips forward. So we've got our hip flexor stretch happening here. And again, if you feel any pinching in your low spine, you're going to hinge forward, okay? Just do it with a nice flat back. Keep the shoulders down. Good. All right, you're going to start to shift this left hip back. Hands are going to go to the mat for balance. Left toes are going to pop up. Back is going to flatten as much as possible. You're going to try and straighten this left leg. You're going to get this big hamstring and calf stretch here. All right, place those left toes down. Walk the foot over to the right side of the mat this time, slowly lowering the left knee, placing the left heel underneath the right hip, and then just walk forward and fold over. This is where I like to rock just a little. It sort of loosens up that glute. Take really tight glutes. You might want to stay in this position for a little while. Remember to keep inhaling and exhaling, and then just keep the shoulders pulling down. So you're always thinking about sliding those shoulder blades down your back. All right, you're going to walk those hands back. Then before we come out of this, we're going to start to bend the right leg, reach around, and get that big quad stretch here. So right quad for me is tighter than my left. All right, go ahead, lower that leg. And then we're going to come into our seated mermaid position. So because of the way I'm turned, I would be facing you. So I'm just going to scooch around here. Good. So you might feel this, we're on our left side, so you might feel your right hip actually up. What we're trying to do is get the hips to kind of even out and release. So if you have tight glutes, tight hips, then you might find yourself kind of in this sort of angle. Over time, what you want to do is get the body to be upright, get the hips to lower down. And again, if this position doesn't feel comfortable, then just swing those legs out in front of you for a modification. All right, take that left hand down, take the right arm up, stretch it over. Good. And then take that right arm down, take the left over. So you're spiraling the chest up. So you're not folding over, but you're trying to open up the chest. Good. And then come right back down. We're going to swing those legs out in front of us. This time we're going to bend the left leg, grab it with the right arm, bring it towards the right shoulder, and then rotate around looking over the left shoulder. Keep the spine nice and upright. So try not to collapse or lean backwards. Really puff that chest out and rotate the spine. Good. Come back to center, uncross those legs. We're going to swing them around so that we are working long ways on our mat. All right, so just a little bit of spinal rotation. So we've kind of stretched the legs, stretched the back, the side body, but now we're going to work on a little bit of our rotation and upper body. So we're going to sit here with our legs out in front of us, maybe a little wider than our hips. For some people, this fires up the hip flexors right away, and if so, then just put a little bend in those knees, and that should turn them off. All right, so sit up on top of the sits bones. So make sure that you're not leaning back. If you feel like you have any sort of crunch or articulation in your back, I want you to try and find even straighter, pulling up all the way up. Take those arms out in front of you. All right, so imagine that I am standing in front of you. I pull your fingertips
So your shoulders are gonna round forward. Now, I didn't collapse in the middle when I did that. I stayed upright. I just moved the shoulders out of the shoulder sockets and then pull the shoulder blades back. Good. And again, forward and back and forward and back. One more time. Forward and pull them back. Excellent. Good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just spinal rotate here. So things to think about, and if you have trouble with this, you can always put your feet up against a wall. But if your hips are shifting and you've stopped shifting through your waist, then you're gonna see the feet shift, okay? So the goal is to keep the feet as quiet as possible. Shoulders are pulling back, you're sitting up nice and tall. So we're not leaning back, okay? Lean forward. Find the bony parts of your butt and sit right up on top of those. All right, take that arm and reach out to the side. Rotating, rotating, rotating. Notice how my feet have not shifted. So I am rotating through this waist and then come forward. And to that other side, rotate, rotate, rotate. It's a spinal rotation happening from the waist. And again. Good. I like to inhale as I rotate, opening up the chest, and then exhale as I come back to center. One more time on each side. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Go ahead and lower those arms and just sort of relax. I always say sitting up tall is exhausting, and it really is, because slouching a lot of times feels good, but then it kind of, you might feel some back pain. It's really because these back extensors are getting pretty weak and we need to work them. All right, let's come all the way down. We'll do some more spinal rotation and some back stretches. So take your body nice and long. Arms are just going to be down by your side. I like to face my palms up because it helps to remind me to roll my shoulders back. All right, let's start with our feet. Just point, trying to touch those toes towards the floor, and then flex. See if you can get those heels to pop up off of the mat. Point and flex. And again, point and flex. Now rotate those feet around. As you rotate, think about scraping the outer edges, if you're rotating out first, against the floor. And then reverse those circles. So now, can you scrape the insides and the outsides against that floor? Good. Last one. And then just come back to that neutral spine. Okay, the way my shirt is, it's looking like my shoulders are way up by my ears. Okay. Now, keeping the feet right where they are, I want you to think about closing up this rib cage. So if you have your ribs splayed, can you feel those ribs? I want you now to close up the rib cage. Notice how the abs might have engaged to do that. That's what we're looking for. All right, so legs are quiet right now. I want you to take the arms and start to rotate them all the way up. Seeing if you can keep the backs of the hands in contact with the floor. And then maybe taking notice where that rib cage starts to open up again. So mine is like right about here. I feel my rib cage start to splay. My shoulders are rotating in the shoulder sockets. Good. This is such a good one to do, especially for side sleepers, when we're all kind of curled up in a ball, and then take those arms all the way down. Take it nice and slow, feeling sort of where the body wants to resist the movement and where you can close up that rib cage again. So it's all about control of the core, the rib cage, the breath, taking that inhale. We're going to do one more on the way down here. Really reaching through those fingertips all the way down. All right, this time you're going to take your hands out to that T position. And I want you just to fold those arms into that goalpost position, kind of how babies sleep when they're sleeping on their back. And then relax the rib cage. Give yourself a second to sort of settle into this position. Feel the shoulders pulling back. Feel the rib cage settle. Everything below the waist is nice and calm, totally out of the equation right now. All right, we're gonna flip that goalpost over, but stopping where we want to pull the shoulders off of the mat. So for me, it's probably right about here where I can't resist the shoulders pulling up anymore, and then flip that goalpost back up. So obviously, some people are a lot more flexible than I am, and some people might not be this flexible yet, or might just be tight across the shoulders and the chest. And this is just an area that you would want to work on. Good, let's do it one more time. And then flip that goalpost up. Good. Extend those arms out. And then let's go ahead and pull the right knee in, taking the arms around to grab right below that kneecap. Give that knee a great big hug, maybe point through the left foot. So if you point through that left foot, you might feel this hip flexor stretch on the left side. Use the biceps and the arms to pull the knee in so that you're not rounding up, but you're pulling the shoulders down. Maybe take that knee out to the side for a little circle around. And then maybe in that reverse direction. Good. Hanging on to the knee, the right knee with the left hand. Take your right arm out to the side. Place that palm down. That's going to help hold you down there. And then I want you to bring this right knee across the body. That right hip is going to pop up, but you want to keep your right shoulder down. You can look over to the right if you want. You're finding this spinal rotation. So this is through your low lumbar. Should feel really good. You should also feel the spinal rotation or core rotation as well. Big breath here. And then come back to center. Let that right knee go down. Let's bring the left knee up. Grab it right below the kneecap. So not on top of the kneecap. Give it a big hug, pulling the shoulders down, point through the right foot. Feel the separation of the inner thighs. Maybe feel the right hip flexor stretch. Feels so good. Hang onto it with your right hand this time. Take your left arm out. Bring the knee across the body. So you find that spinal rotation. You find that flexibility in your spine. And you keep that left shoulder down, right hip or left hip is up. Feels so good. Excellent. Come back to center. All right, we're going to bend both knees here. Hands can just be out to your side. Palms can be up or down, whatever works for you. So my knees are bent. My feet are about as wide as my mat, so wider than my hips. I'm gonna let my legs just windshield wiper over to the right side. Just let them fall. Now again, my left shoulder needs to stay down. I'm actually working on trying to keep my upper ribs, my upper thoracic spine down. If you need a little more assistance, you can always lift that right leg, just place it on the left sort of thigh, knee area. And it'll gently provide a little bit more weight to bring that left knee down. All right, if you did that, take that foot off. We're going to use the abs to pull the knees up, not momentum, and then allow them to fall over onto the left side. Okay, so sometimes stretching is not for everybody because it's slow, obviously. And it's time consuming, but it is so important. And I promise you, you will feel better if you do it. And so even if it's just a few minutes a day, maybe one day it's your feet, the next day it's your shoulders, if you need to break it up that way. If you're sitting at a desk, maybe just doing a couple of neck rotations, look down, look up, look side, right ear to right shoulder, those sorts of things help so much. Take that foot down. And then bring those knees right back up. Excellent. All right, so grab both knees and just rock side to side. So you're just giving that little lumbar a little bit of a massage here. And then in that other direction. Great. All right. Let's go ahead and roll ourselves up. So we're going to roll onto our side first, and then we're going to press into that arm and bring ourselves all the way up, seated crisscross, or whatever position is comfortable for you. So what I was just referring to, we're going to finish with, which is working on that neck. All right. So go ahead and take an inhale. As you exhale, I just want you to take your chin to your chest. Pull the shoulders back and down and feel that stretch. And then look center. Good. I'm going to turn sideways, just show it from this way. Go ahead, take an inhale. And then exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Pull the shoulders back and down. I feel this beautiful stretch in the back of my neck. All right, come look center. We're going to do our rotation. So take an inhale as you start to rotate that neck. Pull the opposite shoulder back and then exhale. Bring it back to center. And again, inhale. Keep lifting through the core. See if you can get that chin to line up with that shoulder. And then exhale, come back to center. And again, one more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one is right ear to right shoulder. So you want to take that right ear down to your right shoulder. What you want to do is keep the shoulders pulling down. So you don't want to lift the opposite shoulder. Right ear to right shoulder. And then gently bring it up. Left ear to left shoulder. Enjoy that stretch. So now you're feeling it down the side of the neck. There's so many stretches we can do, but these are just a few, and maybe this will help get your day started. One more time. Remember, we're only as young as our spine is flexible, said Joseph Pilates, so we need to be moving it in every plane, in every direction. One more time. Good. And then just come back to center. We're going to start finish where we started, which is to take a big inhale. This time I want you to cactus those arms out to the side, pulling the shoulder blades back. I want you to look up towards the ceiling. So this time you're stretching the throat, you're pulling the shoulders back and down. Reach up on one more big inhale. Exhale, blow it all out. Good. Nice job, everyone. I hope that helps to get your day sort of started, work out any kinks, any tightness you might have. Again, if you can get just a few minutes of stretching in every day, it's so important. And I hope to see you here, back here, real soon. And please enjoy any of the other videos that are out there. And if you ever want to take a class with me online, live, please sign up on my website at www.bodiesbypilates.net.